Hey, it's Terry Gorry, and this is the Irish Law and Small Business podcast. Let's talk about stories and storytelling. Stories are a way of giving meaning to the work we do, our activity, and indeed our life. And the stories that we tell ourselves, the story we tell ourselves, is vitally important. And the great news is we get to choose what story we tell ourselves. Let me give you an example of three gentlemen, we'll say men, working on a building site. The first guy is asked what he does, and he says, I'm a block layer, I lay blocks. The second guy, engaged in the same activity, says, I'm building a wall. And the third guy, engaged in precisely the same activity, says, I'm building a cathedral. Each of these men are working on the same site. Each of these men are working on the same building. Each of these men are doing the same thing. They're all engaged in the same activity, but each of them tells themselves a different story. We get to choose what story we tell ourselves. You can share your own stories with people that you seek to lead or influence or persuade. And by sharing your stories, you can bring out lessons rather than telling people in a didactic, dictatorial sort of a way what to do. You can use story to allow people to have greater meaning in the work that they're doing or the activity they're engaged in. If you are, for example, an employer or a leader or an influencer of some description. And when I say influencer, I mean in the old original meaning of the word influencer, not the modern social media version of being an influencer. So you can share your own stories with people if you're an employer, if you're a leader, to influence. But most importantly, you can choose the story you tell yourself, because it will give meaning to your work, it will give meaning to whatever activity you're engaged in, it will give meaning to your life. Stories are powerful. Storytelling is a powerful activity. It's a powerful tool to persuade and to influence and to lead others. Hope you find this video useful. If you do, we'd appreciate if you gave it the thumbs up down below. Thanks a lot.